Hi guys, it's Kasia from Tafalarota, and there are so many reviews about the beautiful Dreams of Gaia tarot, but I have just gotten it and I thought I would like to tell all of you who are sitting on the sidelines about getting this beautiful deck that it's actually a great deck. And Raven Phelan or Ravine Phelan, I'm not sure how to actually pronounce this. I know that Kelly from Truth in Story says Raven. I always was thinking it's Ravine, but you never know. So Miss Raven Phelan is a creator of this deck, and she's a beautiful artist and a great person. I have met her in person too, and she created this deck in a little bit different way to the regular tarot. And I know that a lot of people are wondering if they want to learn the new system and so on and so forth, and that's why that stops them from actually buying or exploring this system. And I actually think this system is very intuitive and very natural. So what she did, she has 24 major arcanas, so 2 more than usual, and she separates them in 3 sections. The first section is the choice, and she writes in the guidebook that choice is our kind of the biggest privilege we have, and what it comes back to in our life is always choices we make, and we have always freedom to make a choice and to react to a situation even if it's not going the way we wish to. We have always the freedom to react in many different ways, so which way we choose, it's totally up to us, and the consequence of this choice, we can meet these consequences, in the same life or maybe in another lifetime, so who knows. So the first section is the choice. It's like a full card. Then the next section here, and this is the section which we all go through, and that's our life stages. So that's cards of our life stages, and we start with a child. So obviously each of us, it's a child. Then we go through the maiden and youth stage, where we explore and have our first initiations. Then we go through mother, father, so parenthood, adulthood, then crone and sage, which is our older lives, and we end up in death and then rebirth when the cycle starts again. So as you see, very intuitive, very kind of natural, following the same cycle as we all go through. Then the next section, she actually calls so you've got it in the booklet. So there's 3 stages of life, and this section is reasons for being. And the reasons for being, which Ravine picks up, it's knowledge, wisdom, healing, love, union, self, abundance, and destiny. So we all familiar with these archetypal powers, and it's very easy for us to have a sensation or have a response to these cards. So the reasons for beings, and then the last stage, and she calls it influences, and that's basically the events that we are experiencing throughout our lives, and something that all of us go through in life. So there's a journey, which I think has also a sense of a choice. There is thought and how we create with our thinking. There's our emotions and how they influence our lives, and desire, that kind of is like a devil archetype here. Perception, intuition, integration, love, this, and faith. And integration was one of the first cards that I pulled I asked this how this tarot deck can help me on my tarot journey, and I pulled one of the 3 cards that I pulled was integration, and I thought this is awesome. So this is the majors. There are these different stages. Then what she does, all the minors go from 1 to 14, 1 being an ace, and as you can see, all the aces are dragons. So there's elemental powers. So we have 1 of fire, 1 of water, 1 of earth, 1 of air, and 1 of water. And each of the dragons has a different attribute. As you can see, there's the spider weaving, creating like an egg. There's growth, and there's the heart in water, and like a cosmic kind of consciousness, or writing, like some kind of expressive thought related energy to the air. So all the dragons, they look beautiful. So as you can see, all the dragons, they are aces and represent the beginnings of the suits. And then what she does with the court cards, it's also quite intuitive. So she only has the king and the queen as what's left from the regular kind of tarot. So they also show the elementals. So king and queen. And then she has a person, specific person, which is like a helper of this particular element. So in earth is Senshai, and they like stand next to the king and queen. So they kind of helping you to understand the lessons of this element. And the 11th, so right after the 10th of earth, comes like a balancing card. So it's like an adjustment card and shows you what polarities you're working with. So here you work with earth and heaven. And for example, in fire, you're working with masculine and feminine, and the helper is the hero. So, you have the power to go on a journey. And then there is the queen and the king. In water, we deal with emotion and intellect polarity. And then we have the counselor as a helper. And we have queen and king. So as you can see, it's quite kind of natural and you can easily understand it. And then in air, we have body mind. The helper is the scribe, so here's this expressive, and then there's the beautiful queen of air and king of air. So that's the court cards, and then you have, of course, all the suits. There is numerous flip-throughs, full reviews, like Kelly's in Truth in the Story. The Truth in Story, and so I'm not going to be doing it, but I wanted to show you my least favorite cards. For some reason, I don't like this card. This is 5 of Earth, and I don't know. I don't know why. I have to sit with it and write about it for myself, but there's just something that I'm not particularly keen on. It's like using, your knowledge and using the cards, maybe. That's what kind of triggers me to, not to actually free and help other people, but to, trick them and get money out of them and kind of let them suffer anyway. And then this guy, oh my God, check out his face. Isn't he freaky? So for some reason, what is it? 8 of water. Not the card itself, like the card itself is beautiful, but his face. I don't know. I don't trust his face. So there's, to me, some kind of discrepancy in his face and what he's trying to show us in the card. Anyway, so these two are not my favorite. And now I show you some of my favorites. So I love the back. I love that it leaves the fingerprints, and I love that it's so simple. I actually got this deck from a swap, so I'm really excited. I was really excited to receive it, and I was actually the person who wasn't sure if I wanted to get this deck, and right now I'm telling you, this deck is amazing. So this is one of my favorite cards, this Nine of Air. So amazing. And you know, Nine of Swords, usually it's one of those traumatic cards, but this one is like full of fire and life. That's Eight of Fire. And Seven of Earth, beautiful patience and just perseverance, and you know, you just act when the time is right and you're well prepared from inside out. How beautiful is she? Oh, gorgeous. The colors, that Six of Cups, so watery and so creative. It's just like yum, yum, yum. She's also gorgeous. I'm right now in the stage when I'm into pastels and spirals and round colors. So kind of very healing space. So, you know, my favorites can change probably in a month time. I love that black and white kind of hell. That reminds me of Goddess Hell, when you have this two duality aspect. This one's one of the cards I pull quite often too. Makes me think. It's quite intense. That's Five of Air. So Five of Swords, you know, the suffering of pretense and trying to hide your true face and trying to hide your emotions. She's also gorgeous to me. It's like make an offering. How cool is this one? Wow. Just being receptive, open. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous. And just think about it, how detailed these cards are, how much work had to go into them to, like check this out. And actually, these are my favorite, but actually the whole deck is pretty amazing. And especially when you think, like Ravine had to paint it, you know, it's like, wow. Look at this focus and shoot. And then the moon and turtles. So yeah, so these are my favorite, but the rest of the deck is equally amazing. There's so many beautiful cards. So really, if you were thinking about this deck and also the guidebook, I haven't read the whole thing, but obviously I read enough to let you know that it's one of the good guidebooks when the author actually describes the symbols from the cards in the book. The majors are extensively described with the present, past, present, future meanings, blocked energy. There's always keywords and key phrases, meaning of, you know, the archetypal meaning, and the minors also have always the key phrases, which are actually very interesting, and meaning of the straight position maybe, and also the blocked energy meaning. So if you were thinking about it and weren't sure about it, if you thought, oh, the new system and so on, the new system isn't really a new system. It's very easy, very intuitive, very easy to follow. So go for it and get yourself this deck because it's really amazing. Speak to you soon. Bye.